Hi, David Orlofsky. Welcome to the Parsha in 5, where in 5 minutes or so, we give you a little insight into the Parsha. Parsha Mishpatim. You know, for some people, this is the end of Shnai Mikra Ve'echad Targum. They pick up again somewhere in Bamidbar because now it's just too complicated. You have these long Rashis where we're basically summing up all of Baba Kama, Baba Metzia, Baba Basra, Sanhedrin, Makos, and a whole bunch of other Masechtas in a very short period of time. And it's just a little too intense for people. We're looking for stories, you know. We'll maybe, pop back in Kisisa for the Egel, and then it's all that Mishkan stuff, and then all those Karbonos, and we'll pick up again in Bamidbar. But the conservative movement put out what they called the Family Bible, where they took out all the boring parts, like the laws, and just kept the stories. So can move on. Mishpatim's not there. But it's often in the laws and the minutiae of Judaism that we find the greatest insights and inspiration. Nothing is for nothing. Yeah, as the pasuk in Tehillim says, "Lo asa chen l'kol goy, o mishpatim lo yida'um." You didn't tell them your mishpatim. Now, mishpatim are laws that everybody can figure out on their own. Don't kill, don't steal. But our mishpatim are different. Our mishpatim have messages that are built into the laws, and that the non-Jews will never figure out. Only through the Torah will we get that. So let's take an example, right? Bava Kama. Bava Kama, we learn that there are different avos nezikin, and there are 3 avos in a shore, in an ox. There's what's called Keren, Shane, and Regel. Keren is its horns. Shane are its teeth. Regel are its feet. But what's the difference between them? Why are they 3 separate categories? So Keren has to be kavanos lehezek. It wants to do damage. And if it wants to do damage, it doesn't have to be with the horn. If the animal bites you because it wants to hurt you or kicks you, that's called Keren. And of course, it has certain dinim that apply to it that's different than Shane and Regel. Shane, it's eating the food. Why? Because of Hanos Atzmo. It wants to get pleasure. Therefore, anything it does to get pleasure falls under the category of Shane. So if it has an itch and it's rubbing against the wall and knocks it down, that's called Shane. If its feet hurt and it's walking in fruit for its feet because they hurt it, that's called Shane, even though he's doing it with his feet. Regel is derech hiluchai. It didn't do anything out of the ordinary. It's just walking down the street. Therefore, if he's walking down the street and he does any damage, he's not responsible. But if he goes into your field and does damage and tramples things, he is responsible. Those are the 3 types. I heard Rav Moshe Shapiro say once, these 3 represent the 3 ways that we damage in this world. He didn't say this, but I'm thinking to myself, maybe it's because when we learn by bor, by a pit, it says shor v'chamor, it says shor v'lo adam, chamor v'lo kelim. Maybe shor is there to teach us about people because it says shor and not a human being. Maybe, I don't know, I didn't hear that. But he says there are 3 ways that people damage in this world. Either we really want to do damage, or we are doing damage because of pleasure, yeah, or we're just going our normal way. And that's why there's avon, pesha, v'chata. There's 3 different types. There's Yodeya, Kono, Varotza, Limrod, Bo. That's one type of mazid, which means there are 2 pizza places. Yeah, this exists only in these kind of questions. There's a treifa pizza place, which is further away, more expensive than the kosher one, and the pizza's not as good. And there's a closer one that's a kosher pizza place, and the pizza is better and it's cheaper, and I dafka go to the treifa pizza place. That is a level of rebellion against Hashem. And then there's the more common one. The treifa one is closer and it's cheaper and it's better pizza. And I go there just because of taiva. Yeah, I did it on purpose, but I was motivated by taiva. And the third one is chata is shogeg. I was just doing what I always do. I forgot it was Shabbos. I always do this, wasn't thinking. I'm just walking down the street. And he says, if you look in Gan Eden, that was the first chait. The Nachash had kavanos lehezik. He wanted to do damage. Chava sees the tree and it looks nice and it looks good. And she was fooled by the taiva. And Adam says, I know what you want from me. I came home and I had supper. You told me to listen to my wife. My wife made me supper. I had supper. What did I do? I would think that if you look how most people damage in this world, it's probably b'shogeg. It's probably regel. It's probably the people who are just walking through this world without thinking where they're going, and they do damage. We have to be aware. Ekev tishma'un, the mitzvahs that we trample with our heel. We are in ikvas ad Mashiach, the heel of Mashiach. We're at the end of time, as far away from intention as we can possibly get. And the way that we're going to solve this gullus and come out is with paying attention and by focusing. And in Mirza Hashem, as we go through the Mishpatim, you will see that every single one is not only good ideas, but also helps us to understand how to be able to be better people in this world. Shabbos.